Okay, morning Warren, thanks for your time. This is obviously a time of year where everyone's slowing down, looking forward to seeing the family at Christmas, but football's the exact opposite, isn't it?
No, it's normal though if you're in the football industry. It's actually strange. I had a couple of years working abroad, and to have a winter break seemed very odd. To have no games over the Christmas period seems strange. So it's just something you've grown up with since I've been 17 years of age, really. That you've always had a game on Boxing Day, so it's nothing new to us, really.
And always in Christmas Day.
It's the norm, really. Yeah, you wouldn't have it any other way because that's just what you normally do. So you don't know any different than not doing that, really.
And in terms of a game, we couldn't have really asked for a more intense, important game. Two teams at the wrong end of the table, desperate for points. How are you approach
I think every game's exactly the same, though. We want to win every game that we play. So there's 3 points at stake for every game we're looking to take. Win every game that we play. So I don't think the approach to this one is any different than any other game that we'll play, or have played so far, or will play for the rest of the year. What
sort of a game are you anticipating at Rotherham?
I think they're quite a direct team. We know that they have got some threats. There's people who have scored goals this year, so we know that they're capable of scoring. I think similar type of game, the Ipswich and Barnsley, where they are quite direct and they work hard to pick knockdowns up, and we've got to be on our toes to deal with those problems. We've got caught short in maybe the knockdowns at Villa and second balls in the Ipswich game as well that's led to goals, or stopping crosses. So we've got to be right on our toes to make sure that we do that better.
And talking of the Ipswich game, obviously there's a lot that went very well for us, but a lot that didn't go, and especially disappointment at the end. But what sort of lessons have we learned from that game?
I think it's the fine margins, really. You've got to score when you're that much on top. If we get a third, you don't know, it could have been 4 or 5, or any score at that stage. There's balls getting flown across the botch, and we certainly had good opportunities to score. The thing when you have that good of a spell, every side in football, whatever league, whatever division, will have a little bit of pressure themselves. There's been a lot of situations where we've dealt with things really well this year and contained opposition and solved the problems, but basic things of stopping a cross or picking up a second ball, or blocking things have led to goals at Villa and Ipswich. So that's disappointing, because that's an easier thing to do, really, than solve a lot of tactical problems. It's just willing to put yourself in a fight zone and block. So that's disappointing that we can see goals like that.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of personnel, we were struggling a bit against Ipswich. You had some under 21 players on the bench. What can you tell us about the injury list at the moment?
Obviously nothing's really changed from that, and maybe got slightly worse with Perkins coming off, but we've got to adapt to that. The players come in and get their opportunities, and they've got to show what they can do. Because
it's a really intense period coming up, isn't it? We've got, following this one, we've got 2 games in 3 days next week, so it's not a great time to have a big long injury list.
No, obviously we're stretched a little bit on that one. There's been some long-term injuries in the squad, that haven't been involved since I come here as well, that are very capable players, so that adds to it. It's another problem we've got to deal with. We've just got to get on with it. The lads who get an opportunity, gives them a chance to show what they can do. We've just got to work them and train them up so that they're near the best they can be.
But we go to Rotherham then finally in a positive mood.
I think the atmosphere and the way that they train every day and the effort that they've put in every game, I think has been positive. I think there's been massive disappointments for myself and obviously all the fans as well. That we've not got more out of those games where, if you totted them up, I think we could have had a reasonable point haul out of those games. We've not. We've got to get on with it, and starting with the next game, aim for 3 points at Rotherham.